now are going to wait 15 minutes because even though it looks like everybody's here, the other hearing and the meeting are noticed for 6 o'clock, and we're not supposed to start before we were advertised. So everybody can hang out and wait 15 minutes and then we'll come back. Thank you.
August 10, 2015, Robinson Township Board of Supervisors meeting. All rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Broses. Not here. Mr. Kendall. Here. Mr. Durant. Here, present. Township Manager.
Here.
Township Secretary.
Here.
Township Solicitor.
Here.
Township Engineer. Here. All right, we're going to move into the Mark West conditional use hearing at this time, and I'll turn it over to our solicitor, Alan Trevorrow.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is the time that has been advertised for a conditional use hearing at the request of Mark West for the Imperial Compressor Station. Just a few notes before we get started. A conditional use hearing before the Board of Supervisors is a little bit different than the regular legislative actions that you see on a monthly basis. They're actually sitting in what's called a quasi-judicial capacity. So they are acting as the judges on this matter. It's not a typical legislative matter where you're going to be lobbying them. They're like a judge, so you're really not supposed to be interacting with the board, and they should not really be interacting with you once this hearing gets started. But it's quasi-judicial, so it's not 100% formal like a court. We're not going to use formal rules of evidence. We're going to allow evidence into the record that is relevant or arguably relevant. And we're not going to be massively formal. However, we do have to be somewhat formal because we have a court reporter here taking down what everybody is saying. And so we have to act in an orderly and controlled fashion. And people cannot speak over one another because she is not going to be able to get down what everybody is saying if that occurs. So what we'll do is, like if you were here earlier when we commenced the range hearing, the township has some procedural type exhibits that that I will read into the record. We'll get that taken care of, and then Mark West is the applicant, so they will come up and make their presentation and put whatever it is that they want to put into the record. And then if the board has questions of Mark West, they can do that. And then at that point, there are a number of people, I believe, that are here that would like to speak on this matter and perhaps present something as well, and we'll do that. Now, normally we have at these meetings, we have a 3-minute time rule. Because this is a hearing, I don't want to restrict people from speaking. I think the 3-minute thing is more of a guide tonight, but if people are talking for a long period of time, we're going to reserve the right to ask people to wrap up. But I don't want to I don't want to shut people off if they have something relevant to tell the board, and we're right at 3 minutes. So, but given that, I still want to try to proceed in an orderly and somewhat expeditious manner if we can. Now, another thing, just so everybody understands, is that the board's obligation tonight is to commence this hearing. The board is not under an obligation to finish the hearing, and it's not under an obligation to make a decision this evening. It may, the board chooses to, make a decision this evening, and it may, depending upon how extensive the evidence is, it may finish the hearing this evening. However, the board has a regular meeting this evening also with an agenda of other items, and so we may get to a point tonight where the board elects to end for tonight the hearing and recess it to another day. So I'm just kind of letting everybody know that ahead of time, that may happen. So with that all having been said, I think that we'll move forward now with the entry of the initial exhibits that the township had put together. And these are simply so that they're in the record, so that they can be referred to. Exhibit A is the Mark West application for conditional use. And we have a binder here, and all we have is the cover page. But we have the full application. Mark West has the full application, and we'll make sure that if this matter ever goes anywhere besides here, if it goes to court, that we're in agreement on what the full application is. We also have the agreement, the application, their subdivision and land development application, which is Exhibit B. We have as Exhibit C the notice of this hearing for this evening that was published in the Observer Reporter on July 27th and August 3rd in compliance with the law. We have as Exhibit D the notice of the public hearing that was posted at the property, and also a photograph demonstrating that it was posted in compliance with the law. We have in this binder Exhibit E, which I don't think we need. We're going to strike Exhibit E. It was the developer's agreement from the prior applications approved. I don't think we need that here unless Mark West disagrees. We'll skip E. Letter F is a letter of recommendation dated July 27th that is from the Planning Commission. And as I look at this letter, it indicates that the Planning Commission recommended approval of the minor subdivision and also the the subdivision and land development. But also, having personally been at that meeting, the conditional use application was recommended to be approved as well that evening. Those were all in motion at that time. But that's Exhibit F. Exhibit G is the list, or the different engineer review letters that went into this application. And there's June 3rd, June 12th, June 15th, 16th, and June 11th, July 10th, and I believe there was a July 20th as well that I don't see here, but I think that was a July 20th letter, and I think you guys have all your letters and you're going to be putting those in. So if we're missing one, you'll put it in. And Exhibit H was an application for a grading permit, which I think was part of the overall submission. So those will be part of the record. And then before we go further, I just want to make sure I have an agreement, and counsel for Mark West can enter his appearance in a moment, but it's my understanding that we are here under the Township zoning ordinance at Section 336, natural gas compressor station or natural gas processing is the section that we're here about. Does Mark West agree with that for the conditional use?
Yeah, for the record, Chris Nestor, the Wall Street Nestor, outside counsel for Mark West, and yes, 336 is the provision.
Okay, great. So at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Nestor and the people from Mark West to commence their case. Before we do that, let's do this. Anybody who believes that they might give testimony in this hearing, just this hearing, not if you want to talk at the regular board meeting about some other issue, but in this particular matter, you believe that you're going to give testimony. All testimony is under oath in this hearing, so could you please rise, and the court reporter will administer an oath to anyone who believes they're going to testify in this particular hearing.
swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So if you did not get sworn in now, and it turns out later that you want to speak, just say something and we'll swear you in. This was a more efficient way, hopefully, to catch everybody up front though. All right, so at this point, we're turning the ball over to Mark West. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, go ahead. Vice Chairman Kendall, good evening. My name is Robert McHale, and I'm here on behalf of my employer, Mark West Liberty Administrative Resources. Joining me tonight from Mark West are Nathan Weldon, Senior Environmental Manager, and Edward Lush, Counsel. Also joining me tonight are Matthew Bagley, our outside engineer on this project. He's with the Gateway Engineers, and from the law firm Overstreet Nestor, Christopher Nestor.
Sure, and you can stay up there, Rob. I'd like to take care of a few just housekeeping matters first, if it's okay. We're going to the room. Is it okay if I speak from here? Sure. We have some exhibits that we'd like to put in the record, some of which are going to overlap with the exhibits that we're already getting in the record by Mr. Goodrow. But before we do that, I just want to make sure we're all sort of on the same page as to what is before you today. We have the conditional use application that was submitted by Northwest for the open pressure station. As a result of some engineering comments that we received, there is also a minor subdivision approval before the board with an attended waiver that was requested by Northwest. Also before the board, pursuant to section 301 of your zoning ordinance, with a conditional use application will also result in land development. The applicant is entitled to submit a land development application in connection with the conditional use. So you also have a request before you tonight for concurrent, preliminary, and final land development subdivision approval for the project as well. So sort of three big buckets of materials that are in front of the board for its consideration this evening, the biggest of which is the conditional use.
All right, so before we go any further, can we talk about I made a statement earlier with regard to the timing that the board did not have to make a decision tonight on the conditional use hearing. I'm sure you agree with that. What is your belief as to the timing status or situation with regard to the minor subdivision and the land development application?
Well, the minor subdivision is part and parcel of the conditional use application as a result of the engineering comments. With respect to the land development, I believe they go concurrently with the conditional use.
All right, so I guess I just want to make sure, do you believe that the board is under any legal obligation to vote on these items tonight? And if not, what date would you, if you think they're concurrent, I mean, the way I'm reading the law is the board simply has to commence the hearing and then, I mean, I didn't see a million people standing up here, so we may get done tonight, and then if that happens, the board would probably either vote tonight or vote at the next meeting. Is that going to, I mean, do you think, I don't want to have any disagreement with you on blowing timelines, is what I want to talk about right here.
Well, I think the board was obligated to commence the hearing this evening.
Well, we're doing
that.
that.
I think that's as far as I'd like to go with that. But I believe that's accurate, that they need to commence the hearing this evening. Otherwise,
Right. But, all right, so when we get to the end, I may revisit this topic when we see where we are, okay?
At this juncture, I'd like Mr. Bagley to introduce himself. Obviously, you heard who he is. If you could stand up and identify yourself for everybody, that would be great. You can spread the party.
Matt Bagley with Gateway Engineers. I was the design engineer for this project on behalf of Northwest. I would, as indicated, I would like to go through a number of exhibits. I have 12 in total. All information that's previously been submitted or received. However, just for housekeeping, we would like to go through.
For the board's benefit, these have all been marked West 1 through 12. They're banded and they have exhibit tabs listed for everybody's